So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
I got it. Hold on. I got it. One more.
Hurry up, damn it. You're holding up the show.
Can you hear that?
Lines are getting impatient.
Nope. Don't hear nothing.
No.
Too loud?
Don't hear
No,
nothing.
don't hear nothing.
Opportunity for them to
Oh, there you
win
go.
4 out of the
There you go.
Hey,
Restart.
Tyler here. Hope you're having a good night. I'm definitely buying what the Panthers are putting up right now. I definitely think there's an opportunity for them to win 4 out of the 5 games. I really think that's a possibility and possibly win the division. I'm definitely rooting for that. I'm buying that Steve Wilks definitely is earning the head coaching position, whether it's here or somewhere else. But I'm just not sure if he's going to be the head coach for the Panthers. I really think quarterback is such a big need that we have, and I really think that David Tepper is going to want a great offensive-minded coach. Unless Steve Wilks can find a great offensive coordinator to develop a young quarterback, I just don't see Steve Wilks he's been, he's obviously from the Ron Rivera tree, and how they both view how the game should be. I just don't see them matching up. I could be wrong, but and I wouldn't be mad if we did hire Steve Wilks. I just think with where we're at and how bad our quarterback play has been this whole year, we need someone that can come in here like a Ken Dorsey, an offensive-minded guy that can help develop a young quarterback or have the potential to develop a young quarterback. Because that's really what held us back, right? We had, Sam Darnold played really well, or I would say he played decent last week. He's had, he had a pass that should have been an interception, and he had a fumble at the goal line. So if two of those, if Sam Darnold threw that interception or made that fumble, and the Ravens recovered, we would be saying how bad and how horrible he played. So obviously Sam Darnold is in the future, but he made it. If we can run the football, him not make mistakes, take a couple of shots downfield, I think we definitely have opportunity to win the games moving forward. I just don't think I'm not going to bet my money on it though. I think that it can happen, but if I'm betting money, it's not going to happen because Sam Darnold. We forget to remember last year, guys, how absolutely horrible he was. Yes, it was behind a bad offensive line, but decision making, you got to have a quarterback that makes very smart decisions, and I just don't trust him moving forward. So it'll be better than Baker. It'll be more consistent compared to PJ, but I just don't see it happening. Hope you guys have a good one. Keep pounding.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment. I don't expect anyone to look at our current situation and say, "Oh, I'm a no doubt believer. We're gonna win." I understand the doubters. I understand. I'm just saying that this team has become more competitive than we thought they were going to be a few weeks ago, and we are depending on a lot that we haven't seen.
Or even last
Sam
week.
has to stay. Yeah, Sam has to stay consistent. Steve Wilks has to continue to call a great game. The coaches have to call great games. So I understand the trepidation, Tyler. I don't know what else to tell you, man. It's still prove it season. Right now, we have a ragtag group of little quarterbacks that could in PJ Walker and Sam Darnold, and we're just going to have to hope that they can find some kind of rhythm that they haven't been able to consistently have in their past.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here talking. I want you guys to think about this as I play the next call, if it works at this point, because I might just mute it by accident. 2 weeks ago, Was it after we were asking if Wilks had done enough to earn the job? You know what I'm saying? I think we asked that question 2 weeks ago. If Wilks had done enough to secure the potential job. So, as one more week happens, right, which we just had, where again, I mean, actually, the last 2 weeks, the Ravens, the defense, then you get Sam Darnold, and you get a win. If we were asking that 2 weeks ago, at what point does the question become that much harder to answer? Think about that as I play this goal. And I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Like, and I'm just trying to say is that if 2 weeks ago we were asking, what are we supposed to say after he racked up 2 wins with Sam Darnold? Next goal. And he hasn't done 2 wins yet with him yet.
Hey. You know who the fuck it ain't. Boyka! This isn't G, baby. But for the second time in about a month, I've got to address that clown. Yo, G. Let me explain to you how the NFL works, because it doesn't appear that you know. All you seem to know how to do is call people dumb when they say something that you don't think is right. It is very hard to tank in the NFL, okay? Which, that is a great thing about the NFL. No one wants a tank, well, unless they're you. But really, who wants that? All right? That's my first thing. Second of all, that is the exact opposite of everything we stand for as Panther Nation, which is keep pounding. You're talking about giving up, throwing your hands up, checking out, for what? A player who ain't done shit in this league? A player from a league that is so different that Nebraska just ignored Matt Rule's shit show that he had here and gave him an 8-year contract? A league where Trevor Lawrence, I'd hate to do it to you, Cody, but I gotta say, Trevor Lawrence in year 2 is 4-7, and he's in a similar
That's
situation
not
to
a
what our quarterback's
number.
in. He just now, like in his second year, got a real coach. All right, he's in a similar situation to what PJ Walker and Sam Darnold are in. Baker Mayfield isn't in that situation because Baker Mayfield is he has been with the Browns, and he's another example of a first-round pick, a highly touted prospect. And what has he done? And I know you think Baker Mayfield sucks because you said it.
He does.
And Sam Darnold,
Bigger
what has
reason,
he
yeah.
done? I mean, yeah, he won that game. I mean, I'm not saying anything about that, but look at Sam Darnold's situation. All right? For every Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert and guys like that, there's players like Baker Mayfield and Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence who they could work in this league, but they need the coach to develop them. All right? And if a quarterback like that was going to save your team in the way that you act like it,
Uh-oh. Do we lose him?
Telling you that with
Trevor Lawrence, who
Hold on. Sorry, man, I may have touched my phone. All right, here. Look, he has a part 2, so we'll go to that.
hey guys, it's Joey again for part 2. Yeah, I know we're trying to go to one call, but damn it, I'm the blind Panther, and and it's a bye week, so it's kind of slow. But yeah, what I was saying is guys that are, if a quarterback was that important, like people like G Baby act like it is, then why the hell do we have 52 other players on the team? Like, why? If a quarterback is so important that you just intentionally lose all season to draft them, knowing that they haven't played a snap in the league, come on, man.
Ask Cody. Ask Cody.
I really don't understand that one. But anyway, guys, without further ado, wow.
I mean, look, what
ask you about Trevor Lawrence. That's the
no,
same
look,
thing.
this isn't
Ain't
even
no
about
different.
Trevor Lawrence. It's not even about Trevor Lawrence. It's about when you draft a quarterback, do you have the coaches? Do you have the team? Do you have everything you need to help that quarterback to thrive and flourish? And I think that's a great point, but I also think that what Joey's talking about is that there's no guarantee that we're going to be the right place that can accurately build up that quarterback and train them properly. So it's almost no point tanking for a quarterback. I kind of feel like that was his long way of saying that to kind of counter G Baby's point.
All right, let's go to. We'll go to an early call. This was from Monday at noon. So this, I'm guessing, is about the post-game show.
I'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, fellas? It's Corey calling in. I called in yesterday, post-game. I was still at Grandma's house for the holidays, and services not good out there. So I gotta redeem myself real quick. I was talking a little bit about like the winning division versus a better draft pick angle, and I mean honestly, like I was kind of hemming and hawing, but like I don't necessarily care too much about having the top two or one or two picks because it's not that likely anyway. And again, like I'm not huge on Stroud or Young. Like I don't really know what to do with quarterback. Like I don't really have the answer for you, but I don't necessarily still want to win the division because I just don't think we're that good of a team. Like we're any of the number one seed or any of the better teams that we go up against in the playoffs is gonna get ugly, right? Like we've taken advantage of some of the teams on our schedule, right? Some of the quarterbacks we played and won games to show that we're not like under Steve Wilks, we're not fucking hopeless, right? But I still don't think we're good enough to really make noise in the playoffs like that. So I want to stay within like a top 10 range just so we can get like an elite level talent. But some point that I wanted to make yesterday that I got cut off before I could. Just Brian Burns, man. We were singing his praises yesterday. I'm watching the show right now. Goddamn. But yeah, just to give him his flowers. Like I've been in the camp. I was never in the Trey Brian Burns camp. Everybody who says he's a good player but doesn't take over game. Like he took over yesterday's game, and he's coming into his own. He's coming into his prime. I'm so glad we didn't trade him. He's 25 years old, got double-digit sacks for the first time in his career, with a chance to get even more. And Tony, like to kind of go on your point where you're saying like it could have been like as soon as we went into the year not extending Brian Burns or whatever, like he was always gonna play out this year and see where it goes. So again, it was either trade him or sign him to a big deal. And yeah, now he's a young, great player who's going to sign to a big deal. That's what you do. I'd much rather have him and pay him what he's worth, maybe a little bit more what he's worth, whatever you want to, how you want to do that, than to not have
paid him this past summer.
So yeah, overall, good dub. It's always better on a Monday when the Panthers win. But again, like I don't think we are necessarily a good team. Like Sam Darnold can, do what he needs to do if we have a good running game and the defense is playing well and everything is set up for him. And, I wouldn't even necessarily hate having him as a backup next year too. But like, yeah, I just kind of want to stay within a realm of possibility with this team. That's where I'm at.
But then we don't want to win anymore. Then you don't want to win anymore. And I think that your call helped me realize this is that if we win one more game, we should be rooting to win we should be rooting to win every game.
I hit that point last week.
Yeah,
that's the point I hit last week.
A momentum point now to where you've already played yourself ultimately out, right? So if we win one more game, we've won 5 games.
Yeah.
And we are right where we were last. We're picking at that at the very best. We're picking at that 5 to 10 range.
No, Tony. Right now, I don't know if I mean, I know this can fluctuate. There are 10 teams. That means a third of the entire league that only have 4 wins.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like my fantasy league.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
It is.
It is so bottom heavy and top heavy. There's not many
Wow.
5 and 6 win teams.
Yeah, if you win one more game, you're done, bro. You're
Yeah.
like a winner.
You win one more game, you are drafting 15 or 16.
Might as well go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Might as well give us an extra week on this podcast about something to talk about. You know, you never know. Was it the 24th? Somebody look this up. When did the Carolina, or in the chat will probably know this, we played a home playoff game against the Cardinals, and they had to start this dude Skelton, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And like basically they got to the playoffs with, who was the guy from Cincinnati? Palmer? Does that sound right? The Carson Palmer? He went and played for the Cardinals after the Bengals, and he got them basically through the season, kind of like a Matthew Stafford acquisition, except for it didn't work out and he got hurt at the end, I'm pretty sure. And so I think about this is not only could you back into the playoffs, but imagine if you played a team where they were playing Cooper Rush.
Right.
Oh my God. One more game. If we win this week, you know what? We're going to the Super Bowl, Cody Lashley. That's what
I'm believing in him now.
I look at it like
one more
why
game.
wait for
I'm
another
in Super
game?
Bowl mode.
Why wait for another game? Start believing now.
because
look at it like this. Do
We're
you
not
think
good.
that Sam
We're not
Darnold?
good.
Do you think Sam Darnold behind this offensive line with Deontay Foreman, with DJ Moore, with the defense that we have, can play as well as Nick Foles did?
Yes.
Because that's
Hold
all you
on
got
one
to ask
second.
yourself.
Hold on one
If he
second.
can play, if he can play as well as Nick Foles, he can win a Super
Who?
Bowl if he gets the playoffs.
Sam Darnold.
I'm not saying he's going to.
No,
I'm just saying it's possible.
No, the Eagles were dope, man. We're not dope. They were a dope team.
I don't know, man. We got
He's
the top
talking
5
about just the
offensive line. We've got a
performance.
top defense.
Yeah.
Like we've got
Nah,
we've got some
nah.
pretty good spots. It's pretty good
That
stuff, man.
we ain't that good.
We're not that good. No, we're definitely not that good as good as they were.
I'm just
but
saying we're not a great team.
Why do you think we aren't as good as they were?
I think that they were a dominant team at that point in time. What was their record that year?
Yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Exactly.
Like if
Greg's right.
You got to keep in mind they didn't go to the Super Bowl because of Nick Foles. I mean, he was a big
That's
part
what we're
of it. in the playoff.
saying. They went because the team was great, not because
right. But
that's what we're saying.
We've been dealing
we're
with
not a great team. We're not a team.
What
where
part
we're
of our
just
team
one
is
piece
not as
away.
good as their team was?
Our offense
Every
is not as good
part.
as their team was.
Our
defense may be
Nate-
as good because we have a really good defense, but our offense is not as good.
Can you remember anybody like you may be able to
Nah,
name one
pull
person?
it up. Let's pull up the. I will promise you, bro.
Who do
We
you
have
remember
won
from that
4
offense?
games. You cannot.
No, I'm not. Here's my point for
Right,
saying
but
they benefited from great quarterback play all year from
No.
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate that
That's
year.
fine. That's
He
just
would've won
because
the
they were
championship,
winning.
yeah.
I
That's
hear what
because they were
TK is
winning.
saying. That is the difference. You can make
That's a
the
good
case
point. Yeah.
that right now,
What year was that?
with our receivers, with our offensive
2020.
line, with our defensive line,
2017.
and with our defensive backfield, the only reason why we are not viewed as the Philadelphia Eagles is because our
You guys are
quarterback
on
position
crack. Y'all
has been the
y'all are on
worst
drugs.
in football.
Please don't look at the roster. Name one offensive player on that team other than a quarterback. Do you remember anybody?
What year was that?
It doesn't. Hey, I'm not asking.
No,
if
I'm
you-
trying.
if you're
I'm trying
talking
to
about a
remember
dominant
the
team,
year, what it was. No, because I don't remember. That's asking me players on a
That's a good-
different
good-
team,
good
like
point. I
5 or
can't.
6 years ago. No,
You know,
like yeah,
their
that
best
is
player,
the
up with
point.
Nelson Aguilar was their best player.
Yeah,
on all-
I'd take
Yeah.
DJ Moore over
That's
Nelson
not true.
Aguilar any
He
day.
must have been a rookie.
No, he was pretty young.
Oh.
He was pretty young.
He
He
had
was,
to have been a
it was-
rookie. That
He wasn't a rookie. No. It was Nelson Aguilar was their best offensive weapon. They had
Alshon
some.
Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey was.
Oh,
on
yeah.
They
Alshon
have
Jeffrey had a
Fletcher
good year that
Cox and a
year, yeah.
defense on the other side, bro. I remember
So,
that. It's
we
like
don't have
Fletcher
a
Cox
we don't
and
have a
the-
Derek Brown. We don't have a Brian Burns. We don't have a J.C. Horn shutting down number one wide receivers.
That was 20. Is it 2017? Okay, it was 2017.
You know what's funny is, Tony, is you just said that if we win one more game, you're gonna be all in. So if we
No,
win
like,
one
I
more
want
game,
them,
you're
like,
gonna
we-
be agreeing with me and CK.
How about this? Are we better than the Giants the year
listen,
that
stop.
the Patriots
Stop,
went 15
y'all
16 0? Are we better than that team? because that wasn't a great team. They backed in the Super Bowl as a wild card, and they went on a wild ride. But I'm just saying, all it takes is a playoff berth and to get hot at the right time.
They were
All you gotta do is-
13-3
all you gotta do is
that
win
year,
4
bro.
games in the playoffs. That's all you gotta do is 4 games.
With an
Y'all are on
MVP
track.
candidate, Tony,
You're
they
on
had
track.
an MVP
13-3.
caliber quarterback.
No.
Tony's
They
so
were
scared.
Quarterback.
Tony's just so afraid of
No
all
way.
these
All right, let's
dumpster
look at
fire
it again.
teams in the
Nope.
NFC. Like, which one of them is markedly better than us? That you're like, oh, they destroy us every
No,
single
I'm
time.
saying you are spitting. It's like offensive. What do you? If I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan in a team where they,
But you're not. You're supposed to be a Panther fan.
No, I'm just trying to look at this realistically. You can't compare the team. They're a 13-3 team. We're the
Hurts, yeah.
opposite of them.
First was
We're
their
the
best
fucking
Their
offensive.
lost
opposite.
record. You're just comparing their win and
Carson-
loss record.
No,
What was
Look.
the rest of their division
Yes,
like that
you
year? Just out of
are.
curiosity- just out of
13-3 is
curiosity,
like the
what was
most
rest of the division?
incredible season ever, bro. There's only
Because
one
they
other
had an
season
MVP
that I've been
caliber
a part
quarterback.
of that was better, and it was with the Carolina Panthers. I'm telling you, you cannot shit on a 13.
Nobody is shitting on them, Tony.
You are
Not a single-
saying we're equivalent except for quarterback.
We are saying there was a major difference, and that was the quarterback. Everything else is pretty comparable. Like if you look at it from that perspective, everything is pretty comparable. If you go position for position, there is a very good chance outside of tight end with Zach Ertz that you're going to be like, oh, we might be better than them in that position. You know, running back is the question mark. Wide receiver, for sure, we were better. You know, I wouldn't say for sure without Terrace Marshall coming on a little bit stronger, but Terrace Marshall is basically Nelson Aguilar at this point. If you can get a quarterback to get these balls to these guys, then if you got a defense that's dominant right now, like right now, we have held teams to less than 10 points in 3 weeks in a row, if I'm not mistaken, or I'm sorry, less than 13 points in a row or 13 points or less for 3 weeks in a row. Like we're one of the best defenses in the league in the past 3 weeks. Right. I think I am not shitting on them. Honestly, my point for saying this is that I think this team is way better than, you know, at least again, the way that it looks on the outside is way better than what people are giving it credit for.
Alshon Jeffrey was on that team.
Right.
What were his stats that year?
Zach
Not better.
What were his stats?
Okay, not better
What
than
was it?
DJ
All right,
Moore. Okay.
Alshon Jeffries had 57 catches, 789 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
That's weak
not
sauce,
a bad
dude.
year.
That's
Weak sauce, man. Are you kidding
Less
me?
than DJ Moore.
That's weak.
That's not.
That's wide
he's
receiver
not.
3
He
numbers.
is.
Wide receiver 2 numbers.
He is not as good as DJ
No,
Moore.
listen to this. And you guys are right. Wentz had a good year that year.
They had a great
Yes, he
year
was
that
an
year.
MVP candidate.
Hands
That's
down
what I'm
MVP.
saying.
Yeah.
But
That's
let's look
the
at their
difference
defense.
between
They
us
had
and
Fletcher
them.
Cox. They had Malcolm. They had 2 Pro Bowlers. They were a
We've got
good
2 Pro
team. It
Bowlers.
was more than just Wentz, though. They had LeGarrette Blunt.
But what
Garrett Blunt had
Blunt
no,
was
look,
on the
it was
back end of his
wild.
career.
Think about this: is he had 173 rushes for 766 yards. So yeah, we get a
That isn't
1,000-yard
good
rush.
at all.
No, for the number of attempts, that is.
No, it's not. That means he's
Yes,
like
it
less than
is.
5 yards per carry.
What year was that? 2018.
Well, duh. Like, I mean, 5 yards per carry.
Less
That's like
than
the
5
great-
yards per carry.
Yes, 5 yards per carry is like the best season
Less-
ever for
no.
a running
We
back.
got Deontay Foreman. You're still making
3
our
is
point.
Deontay
3 is
Foreman
You're-
is 6
Tony,
yards per
Tony.
carry right now.
Right.
You're making our point. These are very football
Y'all are
teams
crazy.
in more ways than one. The only difference is they had a quarterback that was an MVP candidate most of their year, and we're going through a quarterback carousel from hell. More importantly, how about not even the Eagles? Could the Panthers
stupid.
not do what the 49ers did last year? The 49ers won the wild card, and they made it to the NFC Championship game. Look, it's one game at a time. And as we said, going forward, there is no reason to believe that any of the teams that we're going to play ahead of us is markedly better than us. They're just not. I think we're going to be competitive in every game that we play. Whether or not we win, who knows? But once this team finally gets a competent quarterback, oh, dude, we're off to the races.
What did they have to win? That year they had to win the divisional round versus the Falcons.
Oh, Nick Foles had one of the most incredible
They won
postseason outings.
15-10 versus the Falcons that year. And then when you're, I think the one you're referring to is 38-7 versus the Vikings in the NFC Championship.
And can I be honest too, Tony?
41-33 over the Patriots. Frank Wright was their offensive coordinator.
Tony, if we win this division, we get a home playoff game, we're likely going to be playing the Giants or the Cowboys.
I'd much rather play the Giants.
Cowboys choke every year in the playoffs, and we can beat the Giants.
Nasty.
The Giants are not that good of a team. We can beat the Giants. That's what I'm saying, man. There's a chance.
I just think you guys sound delusional where we have 4 wins, and you're not only
Tony, you're only looking
because
at
the math doesn't add up.
losses.
Yeah, the math doesn't add up, but it's possible, dude. It's there.
The win losses is the only thing that you're looking at. That's like, oh, they were this good, and we haven't won this many games. Yeah, you don't have a quarterback. You're dead on arrival. Now
you're
we're
just saying
hoping
any given Sunday. Your argument is just a fancy way of saying any given Sunday.
You haven't proven at one point how they were a markedly better team than us, other than their record.
I mean, I feel like
they didn't have a better receiving core. They didn't have a better defensive backfield.
Yes, they did. Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, and Nelson Aguilar is better than who we got.
That ain't shit.
Do you think Torrey Smith, when he came to our team,
this motherfucker forgets how good Alshon Jeffrey was, bro?
Do you feel
He's
like
not better than DJ Moore?
Where's Alshon Jeffrey right now, Tony? When's the last time you saw his name?
Like probably 35 years old right now.
Right,
I mean,
where is Torrey?
Where is Torrey? Whatever.
Where's Alshon Jeffrey?
That's what he asked. But he's old. That's where he is. He's old now. That was 5 years ago.
Right. But the point is that
he was on the back end of his career.
And he also dominant. He was you looked, you just read his stat line. It was not a dominant stat line.
Those are not dominant numbers by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but when you when you look at actually the way the ball was distributed, listen to this. They had Aguilar had 8 touchdowns that year. Listen to their core, man. And this is where Wentz did have an incredible season. Listen to these numbers. Aguilar went 62 catches for 768 yards, 8 touchdowns. All right. That's a good season. 62 catches, 770, 8 touchdowns. That's more than DJ Moore has ever had in any single season.
What does that mean? Yeah, he's never had a quarterback.
Alshon Jeffrey, 57 catches, 789. So he had 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. Then you had Ertz, who had 74 catches, 824. These guys, they 3 had the same exact seasons, 8 touchdowns.
Better quarterback play.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should go get Carson Wentz this offseason.
Fuck no. He's already.
Why? Where's Alshon Jeffrey though? Where's Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz got injured and he never was the same again.
Great.
Well,
and Michael Johnson
Jeffrey got injured like 7 times and was still doing that shit.
Michael Johnson with the $2 says we've been in this exact situation before, Tony. Just saying. And we did. We won that game at home. In 2014, we got a home game in Carolina and beat the Arizona Cardinals. Why are we all of a sudden not capable of doing a similar thing this year? We've already established that you're not. We've already established that you're not tanking for a specific quarterback in this draft.
I'll give you 3 reasons. 3. You want to know 3 reasons straight up?
Let's hear.
Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. They were on that team.
Okay. I mean,
who the hell is on this team that's going to go into a
playoff
playoff game and win anything on this team? Come on.
I see